Happy Friday, everybody, or any time in the weekend, whenever you're listening here or watching here on YouTube. I'm AJ. As you guys should know by now, my co host, Zach, will not be here today. He has family down there visiting him in Jacksonville, Florida. So I'm happy for him, and I hope he's having a great time down there. But the show must roll on as we have episode 60 for you guys today. But I have my Did You See It of the week, which is a very interesting stat that I found. The World Series is here, which it seems like just a snap of the finger, and it's already here. I feel like I was just celebrating opening day with Albert and Yachty beginning of their last season, and now it's already, World Series time. But the NHL season is rolling on. The Blues are 3-2, so I will be breaking down some of the Blues games that happened this week, as well as some other league wide news, some teams and games and such like that. I have a side segment today, and we're going to be starting to bring in side segments pretty much every episode if we can, to spice it up a little bit. Something that can kind of get you guys involved too, thinking of topics that you guys can also think about. Mine today is my least favorite athlete of all time, and it might surprise you guys, but I have that today, and we'll start bringing in new segments every day. NBA season is currently in week 2 already, and so I have some league wide news as the Lakers are not looking good, and I've been getting a lot of comments from you guys on that, so thank you. As they they are 0-4, but I'll be breaking down a lot of overreactions from teams, as well as you think about the Utah Jazz that are 3-1, and they're kind of shocking the league right now. And the Orlando Magic, who a lot of people had hopes for, are 0-5. So I'll be breaking that all down though. College football week 9, I have my game picks for that. I'm not a huge college football guy, but that's usually Zach's segment. But I will be breaking down my picks there. NFL week 8 is also here. I have my picks there, and fantasy three booms and 3 busts for the week that I will be breaking down with you guys. But let's get it going with my Did You See It? So I mentioned that stat that I saw, and that stat was very, very interesting, and I had to share it. Ben Simmons. Now, Ben Simmons has missed the last couple of years of basketball seasons due to several things, injuries, mental stuff he's been going through. But this stat caught my eye, and he's never been a scorer, but he has 21 points this year and 18 fouls, which completely blows my mind. I know KD and Kyrie are doing a lot of the scoring over there, but he is averaging less than 10 points per game. I believe last night against the Bucks, he had 6 points. He didn't even attempt a shot in the second half. And yes, I mean, it's super early, and I don't think this is the Ben Simmons we'll be seeing, in game 20 on from the season. But it does catch my eye already. There's some drama going on there, and he's not playing offensively like he needs to. And we see a lot of drama, and well deserved. The Lakers deserve a lot of hate for how they're playing right now, but I'll get into that as well. But I want to see that same energy for the Nets, and the Nets are not playing good basketball. They're not winning games right now, so I think they're well deserved of some hate as well. But I should probably start off with my side segment here of the day before we get into the World Series and everything else. My side segment, as I mentioned, was my least favorite athlete of all time. And now you guys could be thinking, you're certain athletes that, and that's what I want this segment to be. I want you guys to be thinking about who's your least favorite athlete of all time, and we'll also bring in like Mount Rushmores and stuff like that of different segments that in sports that you guys can think of. My least favorite athlete of all time might catch your, I don't know, catch you off guard, surprise you a little bit, however you want to say it. But my least favorite athlete of all time, and I had to think about this, is Trevor Bauer. And before all the stuff came out of what he did, he was already top 3 least favorite player of all time. I feel like he disrespects the game with his antics, and you can say that about a lot of players. He just comes off as a complete jerk that I wouldn't want to hang around whatsoever. And then after hearing what he did, obviously we all know what he did, and if you don't, look it up. I don't really want to talk about it, but he's just I mean, he's an awful person. I mean that's just my opinion, and I feel like that should be everybody's opinion. But he's just an awful person, and he's my least favorite athlete of all time. Now he's a tremendous athlete, and that's why it was major news whenever he was suspended. I guess for 2 years or however long he was suspended for. Now he's been serving that suspension, but yeah, he's my least favorite athlete of all time. I thought about like a Kevin Durant. I've never liked KD. You know, back when the LeBron was on the Cavs, I really hated Draymond Green. And as I've grown, Draymond has grown on me. I hated what he did with Jordan Poole, that whole incident, and we discussed that in previous episodes. But I'm going to roll with Trevor Bauer as my least favorite athlete of all time. But next episode, we'll bring in another segment for you guys. Shoot us a DM. If you guys are listening to this or watching us here, shoot us a DM of who your least favorite athlete of all time is. I'd like to hear about that. I might even post something on our story and have you guys reply to that. But let's get it rolling with all of our segments today. The MLB, the World Series is already here. We have the Phillies, the wild card team that caught fire and made it, and the Astros, who have been the hottest team, not hottest team, I guess the best team all year long and pretty much favorites all year long. My pick in this series, and the crazy thing is, the Astros have not lost a game. They've not lost a single game. They've gone, what is it, 7-0? Yeah, I guess 7-0. Swept the Mariners and then just took care of the Yankees. So yeah, 7-0 going into the World Series here. The Phillies are red hot. I'm gonna go with the Astros, but with that being said, I don't think they sweep them. I think it goes deep. I think it goes 6 games. I think it's a 6 game series. I think the Astros come out on top. The series starts Friday night. As I'm filming here on a Thursday, the series begins Friday night in Houston. It's Justin Verlander versus Aaron Nola. Surprise, surprise. But I think pitching is going to be huge in the series. I like the Astros bullpen more. Overall, I like the Astros lineup a tad more, even though the potential that the Phillies lineup shows is definitely worth noting with Castellanos and Schwarber, and obviously Bryce Harper has been on a different planet right now. He's just playing out of his mind. But the Astros have Jordan and Jeremy Pena has been really clutch for them. Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, guys that have been there before, have done that before. So I think it's going to be a great series, though. I look forward to watching it. It's one of those things as a Cardinals fan, I don't really know what I want. I would say I don't want the Phillies to win because I don't like the city of Philadelphia. But is it one of those things that if they win, does it make the Cardinals look, our collapse that we had? It doesn't look as bad, right? So I don't know. I think I'm going to cheer for the Astros. I don't have that hatred towards them, even though that whole cheating scandal, I guess 5 years ago or so now. Man, almost 5 years from that cheating scandal. That's crazy. But yeah, I have the Astros in 6. Some Cardinals news for Cardinals fans out there. A lot of stuff actually going down here in St. Louis. Adam Wainwright has decided to return on a 1-year deal for his final, I would imagine, final year of his career. As you know, Albert and Yachty going out, we were questioning was Waino going to go out too with them? But he's coming back for one more. And also, Jeff Albert, hitting coach for the Cardinals, has stepped down, and Mike Maddox, pitching coach of the Cardinals, has stepped down. Skip Schumacher, head guy with Ollie there, bench coach, has moved on to Miami and is signed to be their manager there in Miami for the Marlins. So a lot of new faces going to be here, and I see a lot of people saying maybe Albert Pujols for hitting coach, which yes, that would be very cool. But part of me thinks Albert just wants to step away from the game. So we'll see how that goes. Some people said Yachty as pitching coach too, which I thought was interesting, but we'll see. We'll see what direction they go with that. They did say they want to stay in-house with that, in the organization, I should say. So it's going to be somebody either brought up or somebody promoted to a role. I know I think it's Brian Eversgerd, the bullpen coach, is now promoted to some kind of higher up ranking in the front office. So definitely something to keep an eye on this offseason, as well as we know we're missing a shortstop if we want to move Tommy Edman to second base. And so there's a lot of shortstops on the market. Trey Turner, Xander Bogaerts, Dansby Swanson, Carlos Correa. There's going to be a lot of guys available, as well as like a catching need that we need. There's Sean Murphy names being thrown out, Wilson Contreras. So definitely something to keep an eye on, guys, especially for you Cardinals fans. I think there's going to be a lot of change this year. The big boys should still be here. Goldie, Nato. You're hoping for improvements from Tyler O'Neill to stay healthy. Dylan Carlson, maybe even a Jordan Walker on opening day next year in right field. Him or Newt Barr probably in right, and Tommy will be there. So it's something to definitely keep an eye on. I think we also could use some pitching help. I think we have solid pitchers, but Quintana's on the market now, so we'll see if he returns and we re-sign him. Jordan Montgomery will be here. Flaherty, they're hoping stays healthy the whole year and is dominant. But there's one big name out there that's very injury prone, but Jacob DeGrom will be a free agent. So I'm very interested if we go out and get a big name and kind of help bolster our rotation. Um, but yeah, I think that's all I have baseball wise. Again, if you guys have any questions, we're answering all DMs on Instagram. Not even questions. I mean, if you have questions, sure, but if you have comments or anything, just let us know. We love responding to you guys and getting to know some of you guys. And the NHL, the St. Louis Blues, as I mentioned before, are now 3-2 as they have dropped their last two after starting 3-0. They played on Monday night against the Winnipeg Jets in Winnipeg, and I didn't think they played that awful, honestly. Besides the offense was just non-existent. And so they put I should mention they put Pavel Buchnevich on the IR. We signed Tyler Pitlick for a one year deal. What a name, Pitlick! What a name, beauty. But we also are without Brennan Saad right now. He missed the game against the Oilers at home on Wednesday, which I will get into in just a second. But on Monday's game, the Jets winning 4-0 against us. It was Thomas Grice's first start in net for the Blues. And I thought he was unbelievable, honestly. I think let me double check here. I think he had 30 something saves. He was rolling along. 39 saves out of 42. I thought he was absolutely unbelievable. The two of the three that he let in, I think one was through the 5 hole, and then one other one it was he should have saved. But besides that, I mean, he was just unreal, and it's definitely not his fault we lost that game. When you don't score anything, you're gonna lose. So the Blues lose 4-0 in that one. And then on Wednesday, we played at home against the Oilers, and we were very competitive with them. I mean, the Oilers are such a powerhouse when it comes to scoring, and they get 40 to 50 shots. I've mentioned this before. They get to 40 to 50 shots a game, it seems like. And when you hold them, I think we held them under 30 shots. I can double check here. Um, we held them to 27 shots on net. And so when you do that, you're in a good spot to win. I thought Bennington was unbelievable, but we lost that one 3-1. And our one goal coming from Ryan O'Reilly on a tip in, he caught it out of midair and slammed it home. But yeah, I don't know. Just another tough loss, but again, I'm not blaming the defense. And that was our worry coming into the season was defense. Do we have the rugged guys to get it done? We have nice finesse guys, Torrey Krug, Justin Falk. These guys move really well. They skate really well. But do we have those big rugged guys? And Colton Parayko can be that, but he hasn't. He hasn't shown probably what we all thought he could be, if that makes sense. So the Blues fall to 3-2. We have a game tonight, Thursday night in Nashville, I believe. Yes, in Nashville. So Nashville 2-4-1. We're 3-2. So hopefully we can get back on track tonight. It should be Thomas Greiss in net, as they don't want to play Benner back-to-back nights. But on Monday night, I think it was Monday night that Phil Kessel. I can double check here real quick. Monday night, yes, Monday night, Phil Kessel tied the record for the most games played in a row in NHL history. I think it was at 900 something. I don't want to mess that up, but it's 900 something for Phil Kessel, which is a tremendous feat that nobody, obviously nobody has reached. So that's amazing for him. He did it. He tied it against the Maple Leafs, which he came up with and started his career with. So the Maple Leafs lost 3-1 to the Golden Knights at home. The Capitals beat the Devils on the road 6-3. The Senators beat the Stars 4-2. The Oilers beat the Penguins 6-3, and the Hurricanes beat the Canucks 3-2. And should I mention the Canucks now? I think I will. The Canucks are completely trash, to say it nicely. They have extremely underperformed, and they have a lot of drama going around in their organization right now. And it's just not a good look. They're 0-5 right now, 0-5-2 or 0-5-1, I believe. And they're not scoring. They've had awful defense more than anything. And news coming out. I think it's Jim Rutherford, their president of operations there, has kind of been throwing everybody under the bus. And there's kind of just name calling, calling out guys, which you hate to see. But he said they had an awful camp before this, which you never want to hear, in the first couple of weeks of the season. Calling that they have what I forgot what he said. No, not formation, but no identity, pretty much. And that he's kind of putting it on Boudreaux there. And so Boudreaux saying that the players aren't playing hard enough, and like there's just a lot of just throwing everybody under the bus right now, which you hate to see to start the season. On Tuesday night, though, the Kraken beat the Sabres 5-1. Seattle's been playing okay, guys. Hold on now. Hold on now. Seattle's been playing okay. Seattle is 3-3-2. And I don't know. Keep an eye on them throughout the year. They're kind of scrappy and sneaky good here. The Bruins beat the Stars 3-1 as the Stars continue to just struggle here. Oh, my bad. I was not thinking about the Stars. Stars are 4-2-1. I was thinking about somebody else there. I'll get to that in a second. The Coyotes. Yes, the Coyotes beat the Blue Jackets 6-3. Coyotes have been playing pretty decent hockey as well. The Devils beat the Red Wings 6-2. And I don't know if it was this week or it might have been Monday night. Let me double check here. Or Sunday. It was something where I have not covered it yet. But there's a tremendous play by Dylan Larkin that I have to talk about. The Kings were up 3-2, I believe, in the last minute of the game against the Red Wings. And they had a wide open net. And off the top of my head, I do not remember who had the wide open net for the empty netter to ice the game. And Dylan Larkin, captain of the Red Wings, is busting his butt down the ice, lifts the guy's stick last second. He had no idea he was behind him. He could have shot it. He was well in the zone, right next to the net. And Dylan Larkin lifted his stick. The puck rolls away. They come down, and I think it was Oscar Sundqvist tied the game on an assist from David Perron, if I remember correctly. And the Red Wings went to overtime and ended up winning that. But if that's not a message sent to the Red Wings for the rest of the year, that your captain's willing to lay it out on the first 2 weeks of the season and save a game, it's not a huge must-win game. It's just a normal regular season game. And so that really sets a tone. And I thought that was, in my opinion, the play of the year so far. But again, on Tuesday night, the Wild beat the Canadiens 3-1. The Avs beat the Rangers I think that was the ESPN game, 3-2. The Panthers lost on the road against the Blackhawks 4-2. The Flames beat the Penguins at home 4-1. The Kings beat the Lightning 4-2. And the Golden Knights beat the Sharks 4-2. That was on Tuesday night, and that's when Phil Kessel broke the official record for the most games played in a row, which is a tremendous feat because the next closest active player is like 300 away, and then the third place is like 600 games away from that Ironman record. So that's a pretty tremendous feat there for Phil Kessel. And the Golden Knights are playing pretty good hockey too. And then on Wednesday night, the Oilers beat us 3-1, as I mentioned. The Islanders beat the Rangers 3-0. We're doing this new thing on our Instagram stories: an NHL player of the night and an NBA player of the night. And our player of the night, I guess the 26th of October, Wednesday, was Ilya Sorokin with a 41 save shutout against the Rangers. That was an unbelievable game from him, from the Russian. And the Lightning beat the Ducks 4-2. And both of those games were on TNT. So tonight there's a lot of hockey games on Thursday night, and then as you know, it's Hockey Night in Canada on Saturday. Friday has quite a few games too, and then it's a great time to be a hockey fan. It really is. But moving on, let's move on to some NBA here. The NBA season is rolling along. Everybody's played 4 or 5 games here, and so let's break down some games from this week. On Monday, Raptors beat the Heat 98-90. Go Raptors. I've been watching every game there. My Toronto Raptors have been playing very, very well. Pascal Siakam's on a mission this year. After getting third team All-NBA last year, he's on a mission to really prove everybody that this is the guy who he is. And so far, he's been a top 5 MVP candidate, in my opinion. He has been playing out of his mind. The 76ers, who have been struggling, they're now 1-4, but on Monday, they have their one win of the year. 120-106 against the Pacers. And I want to hear from you guys through DMs and stuff like that, but I want to hear what you guys think the problem is in Philly. For me, they're too slow. We are in a game now, and they scored 120, but we're in a game now where everybody likes to get up and down and transition and move the ball. And this is also a problem I feel like with the Lakers. When you don't have those shooters, and I'm not saying the Phillies doesn't have shooters. I mean, they have good shooters, Tyrese Maxey, Harden, Tobias Harris, but they don't have they're just too slow. And for me, it's like James Harden does this whole dribble ISO. And if it's not him, it's Embiid, dribble ISO. And just too focused on 2 guys. And that's why I feel Dallas is going to hurt this year. That's where I feel Memphis is going to hurt this year. When you need other guys to step up and you need to move the ball well, that's not going to work out. When you need a bucket, those guys are the guys you want. But when it's a team game and you need everybody on the same page, especially I'm talking not regular season, I'm talking deep in the postseason. I think it's really going to hurt. And yes, I do. I think the Sixers still are a top 6 seed in the East for sure, but something to keep an eye on. The Knicks are 3-1. The Knicks are 3-1 now. Jalen Brunson been playing well. Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson holding it down in the paint. They've been playing well as they beat the Magic 115-102 on Monday. The Bulls beat the Celtics 120-102 on Monday. As the Bulls are now 2-2, the Celtics are 3-1. That was their first loss of the season. The Rockets beat the Jazz, ruining the Jazz perfect season. Who would have thought? Who would have thought you'd be saying that? But the Jazz lost 114-108 in Houston to the Rockets. I believe that's the game Jalen Green had 25, 26 points. He had 26 on 8 of 19 shooting. How about the Jazz, though? They lost that game, but I can't go without talking about him here. I mentioned them at the beginning of the episode. Lauri Markkanen, 4 games into the season, is an all-star. Jordan Clarkson playing well, Kelly Olynyk playing well, Colin Sexton off the bench. They have some weapons to keep an eye on there in Utah. Do I think they're going to be a bottom 5 team in basketball this year? 1,000%. But they're playing hard right now, and they're kind of fun to watch. I'm not going to lie. Also on Monday, the Grizzlies beat the Nets 134-124. How about that? A high scoring game. I think Ja was our NBA player of the night that night. Yes, 38 points, 7 assists. I believe he had 8 rebounds. He was he was playing good basketball, man. And in my opinion, he's the MVP of the year of the league so far this year, and he was my pick coming into the season. So hopefully he can stay healthy. The Spurs beat the Timberwolves 115-106. The Spurs are 3-1. Everybody, the Spurs are 3-1. They're playing good basketball over there. Coach Pop running them well as always. And then the Trailblazers 135-110 over the Nuggets. And a lot of people were saying in my comments that Nurkic really slowed down Jokic. And Jokic was in foul trouble with 5 fouls, had 9 rebounds, 9 assists, but was only 3 of 4 shooting with 9 points. Definitely something that's interesting. Michael Porter Jr. has been in and out of the lineup. They've been kind of load managing him after his couple back surgeries that he's had the last few years. Aaron Gordon had a really good night that night with 26. But Jamal Murray has been really struggling to shoot the ball as the Nuggets are 3-2 now, but he's been struggling to shoot the ball. The Blazers are the team that's, along with the Jazz kind of catching everybody's eye. The Blazers are 4-1 and they had their first loss, I believe, last night, but I'll get to that. On Tuesday, the Wizards beat the Pistons 120-99. I have Bradley Beal and Rui Hachimura on my fantasy team, so I am definitely watching more Wizards games than I ever would. And also SLU alum Jordan Goodwin is for the Wizards, so awesome to see a SLU guy there. The Pelicans on TNT beat the Mavs 113-111. The Mavs are 1-2. They actually have a big game tonight against the Brooklyn Nets, so definitely keeping an eye on that one as the Nets are 1-3 and the Mavs are 1-2. And I'm telling you guys, they're too Luka focused to go deep this year. They really are. I have them at the 7 seed as the season ends. But the Thunder shocked the Clippers 108-94 in OKC. It was actually a much uglier game than even that. What is that? A 12-point win, 14-point win, something like that. Yeah, it was a much worse game than that. I think OKC was up by like 30 at one point, which is unreal. The Suns beat the Warriors 134-105. And the big thing with that, the big storyline is Klay Thompson's first ejection of his career. He was going at it with Devin Booker. If you haven't seen that or heard about that, look that up. It's definitely worth checking out. Then on Wednesday night, the 76ers were in Toronto against the Raptors. The Raptors won 119-109. Gritty win for my Raps last night. It was fun to watch. On the very late game that night, the Nuggets beat the Lakers 110-99. The Lakers had it tied at half, had an awful third quarter like they've had all year long. And speaking of the Lakers, I have to say it. I've watched all 4 games, and honestly, the shooting is atrocious. Worst in NBA history through 4 games. 3-point shooting. Everything else, I love. I love their defensive. Their defensive efficiency right now is unreal. I think they're 3rd in NBA in defensive efficiency. They're kind of in the same thing where they're too slow. They're too slow, and they run in a half-court offense in a game where you need to speed it up and have guys running the sides of the court and filling lanes. And they're not having those guys right now. I like Lonnie Walker's play so far. I like his game so far. I like Damian Jones off the bench as a center. I like him the other night. AD honestly has been playing okay, and I've never been a guy that's put it all on Russ. Um, and they're going to start using Russ off the bench. We'll see how that goes. But the biggest thing is they need shooting. If you can find a way to get a Buddy Hield here and Miles Turner, oh, you're a contender. And I really don't care what anybody says about that because that's facts. I mean, LeBron is playing at an all-time high level still. AD has been playing great. He just needs to stay healthy. You add Buddy Hield shooting, Lonnie Walker, Austin Reeves, Miles Turner defensively down low. He can stretch the floor and space it. There's just no spacing right now. And that's making it hard for Braun to get into the lane. That's making it hard for AD to get into the lane. And they just need spacing. They really do. But everything else I've really liked from their season. And yes, they're 0-4. And if you're a casual out there just looking at the box score, you're going to see they're 0-4 and they're losing games. And you're going to say, oh, they're not hitting any 3-pointers. They're awful, which I don't like the roster construction at all. But I think Darvin Ham has had a tremendous season coaching, honestly, so far. I think he's mixing and matching well. All games have been winnable. And last year we had too many games. As a guy that follows the Lakers, there's been too many games that aren't winnable. And this year they've had games that all four have been winnable. Even that Warriors game at the beginning of the year, that first game, they were down 7.5 in the third quarter, run. Last night against the Nuggets, tied at half, third quarter, a run. Against the Blazers, coughed it up at the end. You've had all these games that you could win if you would knock down some shots and not give up those awful third quarter, just playing awful in the third quarter. So, yeah, that's my little rant on the Lakers right now. The Cavs beat the Magic 103-92. Donovan Mitchell has been playing out of his mind for the Cavs this year so far, and they're even without Darius Garland right now. And they're playing really good basketball as they are now 3-1 on the year. The Hawks beat the Pistons 118-113 in Detroit, and the Hawks are proving me wrong so far. They're 3-1. Detroit 1-4, just not rolling so far, but they're young. I mean, I said this about the Magic, and I'll get into them in a second. The Magic are 0-5. The Pistons are 1-4. I mean, these are just young teams with tons of potential. But I mean, I've been saying it for a long time now. They're at the whole offseason, and now they're not going to be anything special this year. Pistons or the Magic, but in future years, and when everybody gets familiar with each other, they will be just fine. The Knicks beat the Hornets 134-131 in overtime. Jalen Brunson, I believe, had 14 assists and 27 points, I believe. As the Knicks pulled that one out. Hornets honestly not been playing that bad. 2-2 without LaMelo Ball, been playing decent. The Bucks on ESPN, that was the early game on ESPN, beat the Nets 110-99. I did my little rant on the Nets already at the beginning of the episode. Bucks are 3-0. Giannis has had 2 straight 40-point games, dominating, number one player in basketball. The Bulls beat the Pacers at home 124-109. The Pacers, I mean, the Pacers are not good by any means. I don't want you guys to get me wrong. They're 1-4. One thing that caught my eye in that game was Terry. I don't remember his first name. Terry is his last name, and he played for Arizona. Teammates with Benedict Mathurin at Arizona. Now Mathurin is my rookie of the year choice. Has been unreal so far for the Pacers, and Terry plays for the Bulls. At the end of the game, 124, or I think it was 124, 107, whatever it was. And he had it just run out the clock at half court, and Mathurin went up and act like he was just going to dap him up or something, and then stole the ball and went on a fast break, and Terry fouled him, and it didn't look real happy about him, about it. He helped him up and then gave him a little nudge. If you haven't seen that video, look it up. It's pretty funny because it's just something you don't do at the end of the at the end of the game, but he wanted to do it against his former teammate and buddy, so I thought that was interesting. The Timberwolves beat the Spurs 134-122. Biggest storyline for me in that game is Anthony Edwards playing out of his mind. 34 points. I think he had 9 rebounds or 9 assists. It was one or the other here. 9 assists. Yeah. So Anthony Edwards is playing great. Out of the 5 games, he's had 3 30-point games, a 20-plus point game, and then a 9-point game. And that's my biggest thing with Anthony Edwards. He cannot, if they want to take that next step, he can't be streaky. He's got to be that 30-point guy every single night. For them to be dominant, but the Wolves sit at 3-2, and they actually play the Lakers on Friday night, so that'll be a good one to watch. The Jazz played the Rockets again and won 109-101, as the Jazz are now 4-1. I didn't even see that game last night. The Jazz are now 4-1. Lauri Markkanen had 24 and 9. And then the last game last night on Wednesday was the Heat beating the Blazers to give them their first loss of the year. The Heat won 119-98. And as I watched the Heat versus Raptors the other night, because I've been catching every Raptors game with NBA League Pass now, but with the Heat, I just don't like them. Like now that I've watched them, Tyler Hero is just so annoying. Kyle Lowry, Toronto Raptors legend, is very annoying to watch when he's not on your team. And I don't know, I just don't like them. I don't know what it is, but I think they're going to be still really good this year, and I think they'll be a top 5 seed in the East. Tonight we have 4 games on the slate. The Mavericks are in Brooklyn to face the Nets. The Clippers are playing the Thunder again in OKC. The Heat are in Golden State to play the Warriors, and the Grizzlies are facing the Kings for the other late night game tonight. So some good games tonight. Friday though is going to have pretty much everybody playing, which is always fun. Moving on to college football though, I was trying to think if I had anything else NBA to discuss, and I don't think I do. I will be giving you guys my phone can load here. Holy cow! Yes, college football week 9 picks. So we actually have 2 ranked games going on tonight on Thursday Night Football. Number 24 NC State is at home against Virginia Tech. I do have NC State winning that one, even though they've dropped a couple now after starting off real hot. Utah on the road at Washington State. I have Utah winning that. Number 14 Utah. I could see an upset there. Washington State's been pretty scrappy in the Pac-12 this year, but I do have Utah on that one. On Saturday, though, this is when all the big games are, right? So Mizzou is playing at South Carolina. I have South Carolina, number 25 in the country, winning that one. Ohio State at Penn State, number 2 in the country versus number 13 in the country. And I feel like this is the game everybody's marked on their, as the college football fans have marked on their calendar for this weekend. I do have Ohio State winning on the road at Penn State, though. Definitely a game to watch. Number 7, TCU at West Virginia, 7-0 TCU, making a real push for that college football playoff. And the West Virginia Mountaineers are 3-4. I have TCU big on the road this week at West Virginia. Notre Dame at number 16, Syracuse. The Orange Men are 6-1, and I have them pulling out this one on ABC at 11 a.m. Central Time. Florida at number 1, Georgia. Florida, such an up and down roller coaster of a season, right? Number 1, Georgia, just been rolling along. I have Georgia winning this one. If it was at Florida, might be closer than what people think, but I do have Georgia at home in this one. Number 8, Oregon at Cal. I have Oregon winning this one. Oregon's probably, unless you want to say TCU, the hottest team in football right now, along with Tennessee too. I don't want to shortchange Tennessee, but yeah, I have Oregon in that one. Number 9, Oklahoma State at number 22, Kansas State. I have Kansas State at home with the dub in this one, pulling off an upset there. I just think home field advantage in college football is real, more than probably any other sport, and so I have Kansas State winning that one at home. Number 10, Wake Forest at Louisville. Louisville 4-3, Wake Forest 6-1. Here's an ACC matchup for you, Zach. If you're listening, I do have Wake Forest winning this one. I have them going 7-1 after this game. Number 17, Illinois having a really great year, 6-1 at Nebraska. Nebraska really not good. A lot of turmoil going on there, firing their coach and everything. I have Illinois on the road winning that one at Nebraska. Number 20, Cincinnati at UCF. Here's an upset for you. I have UCF at home. They're always kind of underrated, I feel like, and I have them beating Cincinnati at home. Number 19, Kentucky at number 3, Tennessee. Another game everybody has probably marked on their calendar as college football fans. I have Tennessee winning this one at home, but it's Kentucky versus Tennessee, and they're both ranked teams. Wouldn't you think this is college basketball? But both teams are playing unreal. Will Levis is playing phenomenal for Kentucky, arguably the number 1 quarterback coming in to the NFL draft next year. And Tennessee beating Alabama, number 3 in the country now, have been absolutely dominant all year at 7-0. And I think it's Hendon Hooker, has 18 touchdowns and 1 interception this year. That's pretty solid. So I have Tennessee winning that one in a pretty close one, though. That's a 6:00 game on ESPN Saturday night. Then let's get another Pac-12 matchup. Number 10, USC at Arizona. Arizona has had a really rough last couple of years. They're 3-4 this year. I have USC winning that one at Arizona. Michigan State at Michigan. Huge rivalry game. I have Michigan at home with this one. Michigan State was in the top 15 ranked to begin the year, and now they're 3-4. So I got Michigan winning that one. Another big upset, guys. I have number 15 Ole Miss losing on the road to Texas A&M. A&M, another team ranked in the top. I think they were even top 10 to start the year, and they're 3-4. Has Jimbo Fisher and them guys have not performed well. But I have them pulling up the upset at home against Ole Miss. Ole Miss coming off a loss, I believe, last week to LSU. Am I correct on that, guys? Hopefully I can double check that. Yeah, it's a big loss. That's what I was thinking. 45-20 to LSU. Pittsburgh at number 21, North Carolina. I have North Carolina winning this one at home to go 7-1. And then the last game, the late night game at 9:30, Stanford at number 12, UCLA. I have UCLA going to 7-1 and continuing to roll along behind Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who has 17 touchdowns and three interceptions this year. So UCLA has really been playing some good football. So those are my week 9 picks for college football. And then let's finish up with some NFL here, guys. We have our game picks. Should I do game picks first or fantasy first? I think I'm going to do game picks first. Yeah, so let's start with Thursday Night Football, which is tonight's big matchup. The 4-3 Ravens at the 3-4 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers have lost their last 2 games to the Steelers and to the Panthers. Now, if you would have told that to me in the offseason, I would have laughed because that's unreal. I do have the Buccaneers winning tonight. I think their offense gets rolling. I think their defense plays better. I have them rolling tonight and beating the Ravens. So on Sunday, let's start with the London game. Broncos at the Jaguars. I'm going Broncos, and I think Russell should be healthy for this one. But I know a lot of people have the Jags in this one. Both teams are 2-5 in London, neutral field. This is my last week betting on the Broncos. It's my last week I'm giving them a chance. So I got the Broncos. Panthers at the Falcons. Got the Falcons winning at home in this one. Panthers, big upset last week against the Buccaneers. They played pretty well against the Rams earlier in the season as well. Falcons, on the other hand, besides the game against the Bengals, have been really competitive in every single game. And so I got the Falcons in that one. Bears at the Cowboys. I absolutely hate this matchup because I have to pick one of them to win. I absolutely hate it. 3-4 Bears, 5-2 Cowboys. The Bears proved me wrong on Monday night this week against the Patriots. But with that being said, I have the Cowboys rolling at home pretty easily, honestly. That might be for people doing a Survivor League out there, that might be my Survivor pick. The Dolphins at the Lions. Dolphins are 4-3 with Tua back now. The Lions are 1-5. A lot of me says the Lions are going to pull an upset this week. A lot of me I just believe that. But with that being said, I am going to go with the Dolphins this week. I think the Dolphins. I'm just going to bet on Tua and Tyreek and Waddle and the Mostert and Gesicki and all them guys to pull it out. But I'm not liking that pick at all. The Cardinals at the Vikings. I got the Vikings moving to 6-1 after this game, and that is because for one reason really. The Cardinals defense gave up 30 plus to the Saints, and I just feel like the Vikings are just going to exploit that defense and light them up. The 2-4 Raiders at the 2-5 Saints. Same exact reason I'm picking the Vikings over the Cardinals is why I'm picking the Raiders over the Saints. The Saints defense has disappointed me so much this year. I drafted them in fantasy. I thought they were going to be really good this year. They are giving up buttloads of points. And offensively, Kamara is whatever right now. But Michael Thomas still out. Jarvis Landry is still out. They're starting Andy Dalton over Jameis Winston. Very interesting. I know Andy Dalton had 4 tutties against the Cardinals last week on Thursday night, but he did have 3 picks. So definitely something to keep an eye on there. I don't know if he'll even last the whole game. I'm not a hater on Andy Dalton. I just think Jameis gives them a better chance to win. The Patriots at the Jets. I have the Patriots winning 3-4. I had the Patriots are 3-4 versus the 5-2 Jets. I don't know why I said okay, yeah. But I do have the Patriots on the road winning this, and that's because no hate towards the Jets. I fully believe in the Jets, honestly. The Patriots own them, though. The Patriots absolutely own the Jets, and I just feel like even though the Patriots laid an egg on Monday night against the Bears, I think they get rolling. Ramondre Stevenson, hopefully Damian Harris gets some touches because that dude's not been, they're not using him at all. But I do have the Patriots going to 4-4 in this one. The Steelers on the road at the Eagles. The Eagles are going to go to 7-0. I know the Steelers upset the Buccaneers, but I don't see them doing the same thing to the Eagles. The Titans at the Texans. I have the Titans winning on the road. Really kind of like the Dolphins-Lions game. I was thinking about picking the Texans in this one, but they're 1-4-1, and they're at a point where you could kind of just tank and get a chance to get Will Levis or Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. And I think they're gonna do that. So I have the Titans moving to 5-2 and winning that one. The Commanders at the Colts, 3-4 Commanders, 3-1 Colts. Colts, big news this week, benching Matt Ryan. They're going to go with Sam Ellinger out of Texas. And the Commanders are rolling with Taylor Heineke this week. So two scrappy, undersized QBs. And I do have the Colts in this one, and a really close one though. I could see it coming down to a late game situation, field goal to win it type of situation, because the Commanders are scrappy. The Niners at the Rams. In my opinion, this might be my must-watch game this week. I'm going to go with the Niners on the road to force the Rams to 3-4, and I think the Niners get to 4-4. I still have the Niners, even though, as you guys can see and should know, I'm a Seahawks fan. But I do have the Niners winning this one on the road. I think they use Christian McCaffrey more, and even though Deebo Samuel's a little banged up, I keep hearing, I think that might even mean they use McCaffrey even more. So another 3:25 game Central Time. The 6-1 Giants and the 4-3 Seahawks. The one game this week between two teams that are both over 500, and you guys already know. You guys already know. I'm picking the Hawks this week to, I guess, pull off the upset against the Giants. And it's kind of Giants, same thing as the Jets. It's not that I don't believe in them. I think, believe more in the Giants than the Jets. But in Seattle's a different story. The team's rolling right now. The fans are going to feel that. They're going to provide the energy, and so I have the Seahawks going to 5-3 and still leading that division. And then Sunday night, the Green Bay Packers at the Buffalo Bills. I have the Bills winning this one. After some Aaron Rodgers comments this week, I was thinking about picking the Packers, but I am going to go Bills in this one, and I just can't rely on that Packers offensive core. And really just wide receivers. And Aaron Jones has not popped off besides 2 tutties this week. AJ Dillon's been kind of invisible, honestly. So I have the Packers at 3-5 after this game, which is crazy. But the Bills are the Bills, obviously favorites by pretty much everybody this year. So I have them going to 6-1. And then on Monday night, the Bengals at the Browns. I am going to go with the Browns as a huge upset this week. If you guys did not know, Jamar Chase is out 4 to 6 weeks for the Bengals. Which is really going to hurt them. And I had the Browns kind of already picked as an upset pick this week. So I have the Browns winning that one, and I have no faith in the Browns. I don't think they're good at all, but it's one of those games, kind of like this last Monday that we saw the Bears beat the Patriots. You guys can't pick the favorites every week. You got to pick some upsets. That's my upset. That's my big upset this week. I should give you guys, let me get Zach's picks for you guys real quick. He sent them to me. Here we go. Zach picked the Ravens over the Buccaneers, the Jaguars over the Broncos, the Cowboys over the Bears, the Falcons over the Panthers, the Lions over the Dolphins. Okay, he went with the Lions over the Dolphins. I feel that. Okay. He picked the Vikings over the Cardinals, the Raiders over the Saints. He picked the Patriots over the Jets, Eagles over the Steelers, Titans over the Texans, Commanders over the Colts. Okay, there's an upset. Niners over Rams. I agree. He picked my Seahawks over the Giants. I love you, Zach. Appreciate it. He picked the Bills over the Packers. He picked the Bengals over the Browns on Monday night. Very interesting. Okay. Oh, he also gave college football. I didn't even see this. Holy cow, I didn't even see this. Let me guys get you guys are still listening. Let me give you college football picks. He picked K-State over Oklahoma State, Wake Forest over Louisville, Nebraska over Illinois in an upset, Cincinnati over UCF, Mizzou over South Carolina in an upset. He probably did that just for the Mizzou fans out here. He picked Tennessee over Kentucky, USC over Arizona, Michigan over Michigan State, Ole Miss over A&M, and North Carolina over Pitt. And then he picked UCLA over Stanford. And he said, for you guys out there, he said 100% correct. So there you go. My 3 fantasy booms and 3 fantasy busts for this week, guys. My 3 fantasy booms. 1, Seahawks running back Kenneth Walker. Now, it's not a homer pick because I'm a Seahawks fan. I'm not biased about that. Kenneth Walker has been rolling right now. And the Giants defense have given up the most 25-yard and more gains from running backs this year. I think it's 7 already this year. So Kenneth Walker is due for a big game. Tyler Boyd, another one for me. Jamar Chase will be out 4 to 6 weeks. Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, their usage is going to be going up. And Tyler Boyd also had a huge week last week. And I don't want to really talk about it because I left him on my bench in fantasy, and it still hurts me. because I lost by like 6 points, and he got like 30 last week. So Tyler Boyd due for a big week. And then a little one off the board a little bit, Hunter Renfrow for me. For the Raiders, they're going to put up a lot of points against that Saints defense that has been beat up and struggling. I got Hunter Renfrow with a big week. My 3 busts, Damian Harris. He's not getting any touches for the Patriots right now. He was also banged up. But with him getting no touches and Ramondre Stevenson just rolling along right now and playing great football, I have Damian Harris as a bust. Jamal Williams for the Lions. DeAndre Swift is back. Jamal Williams' touches are going to go down. Jamal Williams has a bad week. And then I'm going to go with the Saints defense. They've been giving up points in bunches right now. And that Raiders offense can score, but they also give up a lot defensively. But offensively, for the Raiders, they're going to light up that Saints defense. So those are my 3 busts for the week. And then let me find you Zach's. He posted them on our Instagram. I'm going to shout out our Instagram. If you're not following us already, A2Z Sports Talk. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We're very active. His 3 locks were Derrick Henry at Houston. I like that one. I saw that one. That's why I didn't pick it. I didn't want to have the same as him. He had Saquon Barkley at Seattle. I hope that's not right, but he had that as a lock to pop off. And he actually had Alvin Kamara versus Vegas as a guy to pop off. And his one sleeper, of course, is the Cowboy. He picked Tony Pollard versus the Bears to pop off this week. But those were our fantasy advice, I should say. I've been watching a little bit of English Premier League soccer. So I want to be talking a little bit more about that in the future here, as well as, obviously new segments we're going to be bringing in. But this is the only episode for this week because it's just me. But we definitely wanted to get at least one episode out. But we went over, obviously, MLB, NHL, NBA, college football, NFL, a side segment. Very filled episode. And I couldn't take my water breaks like I usually do. So I am my throat's getting dry from talking so much here. But we appreciate you guys so much for listening. Again, I'm going to shout out our TikTok. We are almost at 4,600 followers. We are currently at 44,500 plus followers. So thank you guys so much for that. Go follow on TikTok. We're very active on there, posting every day, going live every day. Follow us on Instagram. We're at over 450 followers. We're on our way to 500 there. Go follow us on Twitter. We only have like 40 followers on Twitter, but we're very active on Instagram, Twitter. We answer every single DM on Instagram. So guys, go give us a follow. We love talking to you guys. A to Z Sports Talk to the top. We hope you guys love it. We want to keep growing, sharing our knowledge with you guys, helping you guys out. And so keep running up the numbers, guys. Follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You guys already know. Subscribe on YouTube. Even if you don't watch on YouTube, a subscribe on YouTube really helps us out. And all the views and likes matter. So, guys, I don't think I have anything else for today, but we will be back on Monday with another episode recapping everything that happened this weekend. Much love, everybody, and enjoy your week. Let's go.